Hi, welcome to video 55, the staying healthy in prevention of COVID-19 infection. So this is a video 55. We are talking about the vitamin D in protecting COVID-19 infection. So let's look at different aspects of beneficial effects of vitamin D and how it enhancing the immune system to get rid of the COVID-19. Firstly, vitamin D produces a very potent antimicrobial peptides in the body. So this works in conjunction with the controlling inflammation and the part through the suppression of expression of the chemicals called inflammatory cytokine, cytokines. Please look at the Google, and increasing the synthesis of a handful of good cytokines. So the active form of vitamin D, 1,25-dihydroxy vitamin D, it's also called calcitriol, is a very potent immune modulator. In fact, the most potent that we know of. So it produces the two very potent antimicrobial peptides called cathelicidin and defensin, cathelicidin, and defensin, defensin. So both cathelicidin and defensin stimulate the white blood cells, natural killer cells, dendritic cells, and macrophages. These cells are immune cells. Once they get stimulated, they go out, distribute to the bloodstream to where the infections are or the invading pathogens are, and start destroying these invading microbes. So that's their function. So they are basically the soldiers protecting us within. In addition, the vitamin D has an important function of stabilizing the endothelial and the epithelial basement membrane. That's where all the protection occurs in the gastrointestinal tract, pulmonary or the lung tissues, and etc. So anything negative in getting into the cells can be prevented when these endothelial barriers or epithelial barriers are intact. So it's the beauty of vitamin D is actually it enhance and protect these barriers and also maintain the so-called tight junction between the cells so that the viruses cannot or will not allow to enter into the human cells. If you look at the other side of the story, those who are with the vitamin deficiency, so all this protective action I mentioned a few seconds ago become weaker and weaker. So this causes the increasing vulnerability, especially to respiratory viral attacks like COVID. So this multi-step defense system also prevents not only the COVID-19 entering into pulmonary and gastrointestinal epithelium cells, but also enhance the immune system to get rid of these invading viruses quickly. So, as I mentioned, there are multiple ways of vitamin D helping this through the immune system, including the enhancing the ability of phagocytic cell. So basically, the cells like macrophages go and engulf these viruses and destroy this within their cells, and also the ability to neutralize the viruses getting into the blood circulation by binding them and then directing these complex of the complex they form into immune cells to destroy them within. So the combination of these actions not only prevents the entry of the viruses but also increase the rate of elimination of viral and pathogenic bacteria. So let's look at how can we facilitate generating this wonderful and helpful vitamin D synthesis in our skin, because that's where we expected to have 80 to 90% of the vitamin D generated for our day-to-day use and protection. So prior to that, there are fundamental facts one need to be aware of, so that because there are several myths and misconceptions circulating in the internet and even taught in school that are obviously incorrect. So let's go through them one at a time on the benefits for the public and the alleviation of these myths. Firstly, the upper part of the body has a preferential ability to generate vitamin D compared to the lower part of the body. Upper part can synthesize about 4 times of the vitamin D. Lying down flat in sunshine will again increase the synthesis by some between 4 to 6 times. So you need to stay in the sunshine lesser number of minutes compared to sitting or doing some other activities in the sunlight. Wearing clothing covering the skin will not help. It will prevent the UVB rays penetrating or reaching the skin surface. Similarly, despite the circulating myths, sun protection factor SPF factor 12 and above applied on the skin as a cream or ointment or spray virtually abolish the UVB rays getting onto the skin. So only about the 2 to 5% of the UVB rays actually reach the skin when you're wearing any of these creams or ointment. So as we discussed in the previous videos, if you want to stay in the sunshine longer, so you can apply this after the certain number of minutes, like 30 or 40 minutes in the sunshine, and when the time is right, you can apply this and the cream to protect the skin and wait in the sunshine for a longer period. Another myth is actually the early morning or late afternoon sunlight. That's what we are told in schools, and unfortunately, apparently, still doing the same mistake. So exposure to early morning or late afternoon sunshine are totally ineffective in producing vitamin D. Simply because the two reasons. One is that the rays capacity or intensity is much less. Secondly, the angle of UVB rays reaching is too wide to penetrate the skin, so of no use production vitamin D. The most efficient time, on the other hand, of UVB rays to reach our skin to produce vitamin D is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. However, in most tropical countries, it's very difficult to stay outside after midday. Therefore, we recommend to stay in the sunshine at least from 9:30 or 10 a.m. to midday, either minimum of 30 minutes or something like a 10 minutes increment. You can stay about 3-4 times. So easiest way to remember is that when you go out, if your shadow is shorter than your height, that's a good time to stay under the sun to generate vitamin D. If the shadow is longer than your height, the angle of the sun rays coming is too wide and therefore of no benefit. So this can be achieved by exposing to sunlight, as I said, at a one stretch of 30 to 40 minutes or 3 or 4 different times of 10 minutes or so period. It's very important to protect your eyes and the face when you're in the sunlight for any reason. Whether you're walking, is there to generate vitamin D, or walking in the beach, or whatever the reason. Because the excessive exposure to sunlight, UVA particularly, and also UVB and other rays can not only damage the skin but also harm your eyes. So protection of eyes with for example, sunglasses or the brimmed larger hat to protect the eyes and the face together, or if you're lying down, at least for the thick piece of cloth covering in the entire face, so that the face in total won't get exposed to harsh sunlight. So unless that someone is extremely sensitive to sunlight, sunburn shouldn't happen. If the sunburn or reddening of the skin, what you call erythema, is happening, you are staying in the sun, under the sun too long. So that can be harmful in the longer term, as it can damage your skin and causes the basal cell carcinoma in decades later. So protection now is the right thing to do. So there is another small group of people with skin freckles. You can see that little the spots and like a spiral-like thing in the face and upper chest, for example. And especially this is common among the Australians, white-skinned Australians. And these people are excessively sensitive to sunlight and have a higher genetic predisposition to develop skin cancer. So those with the skin freckles should not stay in sunshine without using sun protection by any means. So they should protect their skin from exposure to sun. So as the group of people who are sensitive to sunlight because they are taking some medication, these people should take a vitamin D supplements, adequate amount to protect themselves and enhance their immune system, allowing to fight against invading pathogens. So despite this simplicity, availability of sunlight free of charge, and extremely cost-effective supplements of vitamin D, which doesn't cost anything more than £3 or $5 for a person for the entire year to protect themselves. Unfortunately, none of the government to date understand this, nor advocate such safe sun exposure or vitamin D supplementation as a policy in their country. Basically none. So if they do that, they are facilitating to keep their population of vitamin D sufficient, which is free basically from sun exposure, and thereby markedly reducing the infectious diseases, especially from viral and bacterial diseases, including tuberculosis and leprosy. Nevertheless, what the government and this scientific organization and some of these sophisticated scientists want is to promote expensive pharmaceutical agents and worthless vaccines that are not only significantly less effective than simple measures like a micronutrient natural supplementation, but also these expensive agents, especially the vaccine, will also have a major adverse effects, including causing death. Yet, this is the way many governments and the powerful organizations, especially the mass media, promoting these worthless vaccines and very expensive antiviral agents, which are highly unlikely going to have any major to tangible beneficial effect for the population, except for the industries who are selling these drugs can expecting to make trillions of dollars of your money and the taxpayers' money. So in the next video, I will address the broader disease prevention strategies using inexpensive vitamin D supplementation. Thank you for listening this. This is Professor Sunil Wimalawansa, Professor of Medicine from United States, New Jersey. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and that will help us to do more videos to you, and it's absolutely free for you. Thank you.